Hi, do you know what event we are celebrating in the month of February? Now, I'm guessing that right away you said Valentine's, and you're correct. But there is something else that we're going to celebrate that will give you a big picture and just what you need as a takeaway. But first, welcome to my channel. I am so happy to come alongside you and share tips that strengthen marriages, that strengthen relationships. And a lot of times we are talking about Christians and sex. Sometimes those words don't even go together, but they will today. So, what event are we celebrating in February besides Valentine's Day? It is actually National Marriage Week, February 7th to the 14th. Every year, regardless of what days of the week those dates fall, it's always National Marriage Week. And I tell you, this year, more than other years, I think we need some reminders. You know, the world has been full of stress. I'm sure your life has completely changed. Work habits, family schedules, just add to the list. And of course, so many situations where there has been illness and great changes that bring sadness. So that's one of the reasons that we need reminders, because other things have gotten in the way and we kind of blow the dust off of what marriage means and how we can make it better. We can strengthen it. We can draw on what God designed for marriage to get us through some of these tough times. So I have 3 tips for you, best practices for marriage. Are you ready? You might want to write them down. The first one is be intentional. Now, anything that is worth value is worth planning. I know with romance, you just feel like, oh, can't we be spontaneous? Can't we just share our affection? And sure, that can happen and it's wonderful. Enjoy it. But being intentional shows even greater love because it's extra effort, it's extra attention. And how might that play out? Well, certainly acts of kindness are very meaningful. They can be simple. It can be a household task, get those dishes done, help with a school project with the kids, something that maybe you don't normally do, or maybe you normally do it, but you had to be asked to do it. So find a way to be intentional with some extra kindness. You know, another way to be intentional is to ask for your spouse's input. You might assume you just know what they're thinking, you've been together so long, but when you ask for their opinion, you want their feedback, wow, that sows a lot of seeds of respect and goes a long way to building trust, which builds intimacy. See, I told you I would get it in. And then something else to consider with being intentional is look for getaway moments. Now, maybe you don't get to take that big trip this year and the cruise and some other things, but you can find moments that are meaningful, that are special, where maybe you have some words of endearment. You can practice and be ready. But any way that you can be intentional is going to go a long way in the relationship. All right, my second best practice tip for you is to acknowledge small steps. Now, you might expect your spouse to just do certain tasks around the house, but do you thank them? Do you appreciate what they're doing? When you can express appreciation out loud, then it does so many things. It seems simple. It's not. It focuses your attention on positive things, and that gratitude actually starts a whole process of gratitude. And when your spouse hears that thankfulness and that affirmation, well, they just stand a little taller, feel a little stronger. You're sowing confidence. And when you sow confidence into your spouse, you're also sowing confidence into your marriage. So those small steps count. The small stuff is really the big stuff. Now, my third best practice tip for you is to stay the course. You might not believe it today, but I used to be an outdoor education director. I was in the ropes course, I had horses and kayaking, I mean the whole bit. And one of my favorite things was to teach orienteering. And that's when you hold a compass in your hand and you're reading it, and you have a number that's the degree of the angle, but you also have a number that is the steps or the measurement that you take. And if you are sighting something in the future and there happens to be a tree or a boulder, you need to go around it and then still see what's on the other side. So that's what's happening in life right now. We have COVID, we have quarantine, we have a lot of extra issues and stress in the world. But that does not have to keep you from your final destination, your goal, your dream for your marriage. So stay the course means that you are going to see beyond where you are right now, and you're going to remind yourself of the goals and the dreams that you share. Because when you can picture yourself with your spouse together in the future, well, hello, you have just strengthened your marriage. So keep these in mind February 7th through the 14th, and find as many small ways to be intentional and picture the future together. Thanks so much for joining today. And remember, God loves you and He has a plan and answers for your life, and together we can find them.